Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Tinubu strikes multiple deals with Germany, Korea, India, and others. 26 die in Niger boat accident. Eagles wallop Sao Tome, 6.60. British warship in Lagos. Federal roads collapse across states. Wheat production gets $163 million boost. Acquisition of bank, CBN Deputy Governor quizzed. President fair to Igbo with appointment, says Soludo. United Nigeria 6 slots into London, Dubai, and other routes. Okay, which story are we starting with in the nation?
We can start with the United Nigeria Airlines. Okay. It said they have secured approval for the operation of international flights into 6 countries. And according to the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development's approval, the airline would operate international flights into the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Italy, Ireland, and the United Arab Emirates. So there was a letter dated September 8th, 2023, which conveyed the approval from the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development and was signed by Director of Air Transport Management, Mr. H.T. Ejiburu, on behalf of the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, to the United Nigeria Airlines Company Limited. And he said the approval was in line with a subsisting bilateral air service agreement between Nigeria and each of the other countries. And they went ahead to, mention what the letter reads. But this is a good development. Let's see how we can, fly into some of these countries.
So Governor Soludo, Chukwuma Soludo, was speaking. Yes, he's also the leader of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. He was speaking at an event, said that the president has not marginalized Ndibo, despite losing the 5 states during the February 25th elections. According to him, he said that given the totality of votes we contributed from Southeast and looking at the ministerial portfolios, we may not have the basis to begin to demand for juicy portfolios. According to him, giving the former Governor Umahi Ministry of Works is huge for the Southeast, amongst other ministers, Doris Anite, Industry, Trade and Investment, Uche Naj, Innovation, Science and Technology, Minkuru Onye Georgia, that's Minister of State for Labor, and Uju Kennedy, that's Minister for Women Affairs. So these are big portfolios. Tinubu never considered his rejection by the Southeast. During the poll, Soludo said that the Ministry of Works to the Southeast is huge. Said Nigeria is a federal federation. You cannot stay in your state, clap with one hand and expect noise. You need the other hand, which is the federal government, for things to work. So he's happy about the...
As a follow-up to that story, the Minister for Works had visited the governor of Anambra State, and so Nation has an article that took inventory of all the federal roads across the country, starting with the Jalingo-Yola Road, where the Vice President directed the Northeast Development Commission to immediately prioritize those roads. And they moved on to, the roads, the Gombe-Bauchi, Maiduguri Damboa Road. They also moved on to about 38 uncompleted projects across the country worth 979 billion are waiting for the urgent attention of the president, according to the Nation. Also, Soludo talked about the federal roads in his state, and the minister agreed that even in Ebonyi State, they sort of are competing. Those were his words on the worst kind of roads they have. They came down to Lagos, to Ogun, where Dr. Dapabiodun was talking about the Abeokuta-Lagos Road and the state that it is in. That's the one that goes through Songo. And we know that, it's been since the time of Obasanjo, the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Okay. And so, generally, we're hoping that with the new minister visiting him and them talking about it, he knows his assignment.
And they should fix those Southeastern roads. Immediately. At the end of 4 years, Southeast should not be complaining about roads.
They shouldn't.
In the minimum.
Yes, but it shouldn't be just that priority.
We know, but at least...
The Ota Road needs urgent attention. Yes. It's an alternative to this express. All the things we suffered on this express during the...
If that road was
active, nobody...
And the Jalingo-Yola is really bad. I heard that road is really bad too. Go ahead, talk about the major headlines.
Major headlines. So the president concluded the G20 meeting yesterday, and part of the good news for Nigeria is the fact that he's been able to sign multiple deals with Germany, Korea, and India. Germany being Europe's largest economy, South Korea being Asia's 4th largest economy, and India, Asia's global giant, have formally endorsed our president for his initial promises to increase the economic cooperations between Nigeria and bringing more investment to Nigeria. So the conversation covered with the German Chancellor is that he's been invited to Nigeria. He's promised to provide, to increase investment into Nigeria, talking about infrastructural, large-scale manufacturers, such as bringing Volkswagen and others into reality and creating incentives for the government to bring those things into play. The South Korean government also spoke about the fact that they are interested in the fact that Nigeria has maintained democratic rule and transitioned over time, and they appreciated our president's role in speaking for democracy in the West African region. They said that they have interest in Nigeria's education, technology, and energy. Those are the areas that South Korea is focusing on. And of course, we're hoping that as the president has extended invitation to the Indian Prime Minister, that he will be honoring it soon. He has promised that he would be increasing relations with Nigeria too. The goal of this, according to the spokesperson, that's the statement released by Ajuri Ngelale, is that the president said that it's not for the government to design the financial architecture of Nigeria, but to create an expansion of the economy through partnerships. So that's why this meeting and the deals that we hopefully have struck would be of importance to Nigerians.
Okay, moving on now to the Punch. National Assembly polls tribunals to decide 400 cases and end sit-ins. Morocco earthquake victims rise to 2,122 children worst hit. NDLEA seizes 399 explosive, illicit drugs, grandma, others arrested. 24 dead, 30 rescued in Niger boat accident. Ogun, ex-Governor Daniel's wife clash over the plaza demolition. FG Foreign Airlines meet as flight disruptions worsens. Banks' bad loans hit 479 billion naira amid economic downturn.
Okay.
Picture story here. Go ahead.
I have the major headline.
Go ahead.
So the Punch, of course, are giving us details on all the election petition cases are outstanding now. And today, about 400 are waiting to be decided on in the country today. An INEC official said there were 552 election petitions following the elections across the offices that were vied for. Federal House of Reps, House of Assemblies, and governorship across the country. So this is the last week. I think it's time bound. It's 180 days for the tribunal to decide every of those cases, and so they are rounding up. And today we have about 400 that are standing. 150 have been decided on, either struck out or withdrawn, and we have 400 to close on this week.
That's a lot.
All right, let me take the picture story. Really, really sad. We all woke up over the weekend to the 6.8 magnitude earthquake that happened in Morocco. It's been quite a painful situation. Over 2,000 people have died. Children have been worse hit since the earthquake happened. The United States, France, Israel, Spain, and several other countries and international organizations have offered their help to Morocco. However, they said that their assistance is going to be based on the directive from Morocco's government. And although Morocco is deploying its own answer to the earthquake, Spain's Foreign Minister Jose Manuel Albares has said that Morocco has officially requested help from their own country. So a plane carrying 56 rescue personnel was sent to Morocco, and they mobilized all their technical security experts to support them. Also said that the G20 summit in Delhi, India, adding talks are also saying there are ongoing helps for Moroccan government also. But it's a really, really painful situation. This is a natural disaster. You can't really blame anything on it. But according to the United Nations, they're offering help. They're on standby, waiting for instructions from Morocco on how exactly they need to help. But in the meantime, other countries have all offered help to see what they can do to rescue. Rescue is still ongoing, but so far they've had 2,122 confirmed dead.
Wow.
So
About 4 banks have reported that they have 478 billion non-performing loans during just the first half of this year. This is an increase of 16% from the first quarter last year. The full year ended in 2022. There's been a 16% increase in the number of non-performing loans, and they're just from 4 banks. We're talking GT, Co, FBN, that's First Bank, FCMB, and Fidelity Bank. They said this is, even while this is non-performing, these are like stage 3 loans, that there are still some loans that they are able to do debiting the bank account of the debtors, but to reduce the volume of the loans, that this report was released to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and they are hoping to find a way to decrease it. But if the loans keep on increasing, if defaulters keep on increasing, it will make it difficult for the financial institution in Nigeria to be able to handle the challenges.
Yes, so the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is doing what they do best, and they've been able to recover 399 pieces of improvised explosive devices from one Asana Leki 39 along Mokwa Jeba Road on Thursday, September 7th. So according to the suspect, he said the explosives were handed to him at a park in Ibadan, Oyo State, to be delivered to somebody in Kaduna. And alongside the exhibits, everything has been transferred to the military. They are also, carrying out other formations to continue the war against drug abuse in different places and local communities. They also intercepted consignments of skunk concealed in tomato paste and methamphetamine, that's meth, hidden in used clothes meant to export to Dubai. The skunk in tomato paste consisted of 20 kgs, which was intercepted Friday, September 8th, and that was at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. And the meth shipment also was a gross weight of 1.60 kilogram, which was seized in a courier company in Lagos. There was also another consignment of 556 grams of Canadian loud sent from Canada to one Tunji Adebayo in Ikorodu. But when they got there, it was Tunji wasn't around. It was his brother who signed off on the package, and so NDLEA has arrested him. Among others, there are so many of them that have been intercepted in areas like Mushi, Ghanaian loud, Sabu Yaba, different. So it's just like a compilation of everything that has happened within the week, and well done, NDLEA.
Let me move on to Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken at all. 24 dead, many missing in Niger boat accident. 36 states get 1.51 trillion naira FAC allocations in 6 months, says NATE report. 400,000 healthcare workforce not enough for Nigeria, says Pate. Northeast governors raise concern over influx of bandits, and the picture story here, destruction of 5-story building. Ogun government, Daniel's firm trade words. It's an illegal structure, contravenes physical planning, says government. Okay, which story?
I have the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, and holding their conference, they addressed the issue of the presidential tribunal result that we just got. Even though they, lambasted the tribunal for what they said, for allowing INEC, saying that INEC wasn't mandated to upload results on IREV, they also agreed that the petition, election tribunal must not bend. The Supreme Court mustn't bend to the whims and caprices of political parties across board. They must do and follow the law existing on the land. So we might have a deficient electoral act, but the law is what it is, and that they're asking the Supreme Court to uphold the law as it is and not bend to, play to the gallery for any political party.
Yeah. So I have another story. It's a tragic one. Said in Niger State Sunday, a boat capsized in Mokwa area of the state. The exact number of the people on board and the cause of the accident as at the time of the report has not been, given. But according to the chairman of Mokwa local government, he confirmed the incident. He said rescue efforts were ongoing, and he confirmed that 21 dead bodies have been recovered. And 3 community members, Gbajibo, Ekwa, Yankaide, were also affected. The police was also contacted, and they confirmed the accident. And according to the police, they are suggesting that about 13 people lost their lives. And we know that in that area a few months ago, about 100 people who were coming back from a wedding died in that sort of boat mishap. So I think we'll just wait the investigations to find out what exactly caused this particular one. But our hearts go out to the people who have lost their lives and their families.
Yes, I have the story about the Northeast governors lamenting the influx of bandits. So there was a meeting of the sub-region Northeast Governors Forum, and they lamented the fact that there's been an increase in activities of bandits within areas that never had issues of banditry before. Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba states were never recording any issue with bandits, but now it has become, it's increasing in numbers, the challenges of banditry within those areas. And the Governors Forum was, at the Governors Forum was the Vice President Kashim Shettima, and in attendance also was the Borno State Governor, who was also applauding the military for how far they've come, but they're now asking for the help of the military in being able to flush out bandits, that the insurgents that are not, any insurgents that is not dropping their arms should be flushed out. They should go into their enclave and flush them out. But at the case of banditry that is increasing needs to be stemmed quickly. The governor also mentioned the fact that there's a negative effect of, the governor spoke about climate change and the impact of climate change on their people, and the fact that there's an increase in loss of livelihoods of the people because of the flooding and destruction of properties, and the challenges that is being compounded by climate change, degradation of the majority of the environment. Then they spoke about the insecurity challenges within the rail system, which I took that story on Saturday, the fact that the rail is supposed to encourage mass transit, but because of bandits, the rails are not able to do what they are meant to do, and there's a neglect of roads and railway infrastructure along the economic corridor of the Northeast as well. So, but generally, the Northeast Governors Forum are talking together as a group to discuss the economic challenges affecting the sub-region and prefer solutions that they feel the government can help, chief of which is insecurity challenges.
Okay. Was that
yes, from
Vanguard, very quickly. Fresh inflation fears as top firms lose 606 billion naira to forex wars. Why Nigeria should be included in the G20, says Foreign Minister Tuga. Let's find a story of not taking fee. Varsities in desperate situation can't retain old rates, says Unilag VC. Regional maritime security, UK warships arrives Nigeria. PEPT verdict, fate of Nigeria hangs in the balance, says Catholic bishops. PEPT must explain Tinubu's imprint on the judgment, says LP. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay. Let me quickly take the VC of Unilag, Professor Folashade Ogushola. She just, in this article, decried the state of the university's finances. She's saying that, you know, the universities are presently overwhelmed with producing the kind of graduate Nigeria needs with the limited resources that they continuously have. And she talked about how cost of running schools are, you know, continuously rising. Recently, they increased their school fees, and there was a protest, and students were complaining about the increment. But, you know, nobody understands how to finance university education. If it was abroad, there will be other means of, you know, finances that people can use. But here, we are constantly being, imagine for the cost we train our doctors with, when they go abroad, they can't afford to get education for that amount. But once they get educated here, they leave. So she talked about generally everything, and I'm hoping that this article will be read by the right authorities and they will sit together and work out something sustainable for everybody.
Together is the important part.
For everybody, the students, teachers, the lecturers, and government.
So a UK warship arrives Nigeria. So a Royal Navy warship, HMS Trent, yesterday arrived Lagos as part of the regional mission to aid allies and partners in driving down illegal activities, including piracy and illicit trafficking. It left the UK Marines yesterday, and its mission is to support West African allies, helping countries to develop their capability to fight illegal crimes at sea and ensure they can play an effective role in bringing stability to wider West Africa. Many of you know recently quite a few of the vessels were burnt, were destroyed. Those who were with the illegal mining that was going on, illegal stealing of our crude. So, but here is the HMS Trent from the UK, which is helping to come and support their allies to ensure that the illicit trafficking of our crude is stopped and nipped in the bud as soon as possible. This is a good thing, but we'll see how that goes. Moving on to any other story in Vanguard. Okay, let's go to the point. Let's find a story. Keredolu's return has unsettled key stakeholders, says insiders. Southeast leaders move to reposition region as Nigeria's economic hub as individual states target $30 billion growth. Why I take my children to mortuary regularly. Mortician who started interfacing with the dead at 11. And Obaseki has taken Edo back to Stone Age, says APC statesman. You have a story there?
I have the bottom strip story. Nigerian ladies slowly clean themselves using dangerous, unprescribed libido-enhancing drugs.
Okay, that's...
So this one is a medical alert, and I hope that, the people listening would take heed. The story talks about vendors who sell their drugs online, and people place orders not knowing the content or the chemicals that constitute that entire drug. And it's, of course, to enhance sexual strength for them. And, of course, to satisfy their customers, they take these drugs, that goes into their organs, affects their livers, affects their kidneys. In the long run, long use of it, is detrimental to health. And I hope that they heed the advice.
All these people that used to do those kind of things.
We have to run off any other story?
Yes, so a mortician, simply identified as James Adam, said he has been taking his children to the morgue. He actually works in the morgue, and he studied at the University of Ilorin for that, morbid anatomy. And he was saying that one of the reasons he started taking his children there is for them to overcome their fears, so that they are able to meet a lot of challenges. That people are afraid of, being around the dead, but that's an industry that is really untapped. There are not a lot of morticians that are available. There's a lot of money to be made in that industry, and is encouraging people to, embrace it. That there's nothing when you go there, after even the kids, they are now used to getting to the place. They don't get afraid of dead people anymore. They are now working with him. And he started at the age of 11 while he was, assisting his elder brother, who was also a mortician. It's an interesting read.
Yeah, people think it's morbid.
Yeah.
They don't like anything.
They are very spiritual about it. God forbid,
But somebody's got to do the job.
There
was a guy that said it's shit doing business. The guy.
Yeah, shit business is good business.
Yeah, shit business. He was clearing shit.
My grandfather was
and he make a lot of money.
A coffee maker. Coffin,
and
that's how he made his money. So somebody will make money from it.